Coba Pak. Baik. Ampun.
Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to day 2 of Penabur Banda Secondary Orientation Day. We have 2 webinars on our agenda today. The first one is the well-being, and the second one will be career day. So we have 5 different speakers, and we look forward to learn and hear their experiences. So, some housekeeping rules that we need to pay attention to during these 2 sessions. So these are the 2, and these are the things that we need to pay attention to. Your attendance is recorded when you leave a comment on the chat box. Yeah, this is the format that you need to follow. Name/class #career day. That's for your attendance. The second thing is, at any time you have any questions that you would like to ask the speakers, you can also ask them using this format. #question, name/class-questions. We would like you to stay throughout the program, stay until the end, and come on time. So please enjoy the 2 webinars that will be presented this morning. Okay, the first webinar is Managing My Well-Being. And in the middle of the of the webinar itself, there will be trivia. So this is not just any trivia. There's a special 100,000 rupiah OVO voucher for one lucky winner. So if you are able to answer the trivia question correctly, you stand a chance for winning a 100,000 rupiah OVO voucher that you can spend as you wish. So make sure you stay tuned and join the trivia quiz. Okay. And now I would like to introduce the first speaker for this morning, our very own school counselor, Miss Bernike Effendi. And she is going to be our speaker. She's going to share with us the importance of well-being and importance of taking care of your mental or emotional health. Good morning, Miss Keke.
Good morning, Miss Tiur.
How are you today?
I'm doing fine, Miss. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Miss Keke, can you tell a little bit about yourself? Share with us a little bit about yourself.
What to say about myself? Well, my name is Miss Keke. I've worked at Penabur Banda Secondary for about 6 to 7 months right now as your school counselor. And a little bit about me. So I studied psychology during my bachelor degree at Universitas Indonesia and University of Queensland in my double degree program. I also took a counseling program when I was taking my postgraduate degree back at the University of Queensland. Miss Dio.
Thank you, Miss Keke. And before we start, Miss, there will be a polling, I believe.
All right, yes. So, everyone, before we start, I'd like you guys to, let me just write you right here. Right, apologies. So, guys, if you can, please open up slido.com there. Right? So just type into your own PC or your phone if you're viewing there, slido.com, and just insert the number as you see it there. So there's 72754. Yeah. So this is just a little polling to start the day. Yeah. So the question is about. So I'll read it for you. You have math and science exams tomorrow. When you head to sleep, you just realize that you have a project due on the same day. What will you do? You have 4 options there, so you can choose which one that fits you best, yeah? So in this polling, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just the answer that you feel like you can identify most or you feel like that's what you will do, yeah? So the first one is you're going to be absent. You will pretend to be sick, yeah? So you won't attend the class at all. And option 2 is that you will pretend to not have received the assignment and exam notifications from Google Classroom, yeah? Option 3, you would pretend that your Wi-Fi is dead. Well, yeah. And the last option is you're going to do your best despite of the circumstances there. So, which one will it be, guys? So just insert your answer after joining slido.com with the code number 72754. Yeah. Okay. Right, I'll give you a little bit of time for people to answer, yeah? Sorry. Okay. So, whoa. The answers have come in, yeah?
Interesting.
So yes, you can only choose one option, guys, but don't worry, this is just a little polling, so it's not going to be on your record or anything, yeah, don't worry. We just want to know about what you will choose. Okay, so I've seen that. Okay, so option number 2 is coming.
And it's anonymous, so you don't have to put in the answer that you think we would like to see.
See, yeah, it's okay. Okay, oh, wow, so there's, yeah. Oh, well, okay. So after seeing this, okay, so it seems like anyone else wants to give another answer again? Okay, because it seems like there might be a bit change. Okay, so I think after looking at this answer, it seems that the top answer is, really? Doing my best despite circumstance. Sorry, Thought the first answer would be okay. Good answer,
Yay,
guys.
there should be drum roll.
Excellent answer as well.
We celebrate that
We
answer.
celebrate this answer because we thought it might be the other ones. Yeah, because I guess this is just for a fun survey.
Okay.
Anyway, all right.
So, Ms. Keke, you've conducted this short, let's say polling, yeah? There's some question, one question and several options. And can you please explain to us what does it mean if we are a person who choose doing my best, or if a person who choose pretending that my Wi-Fi is dead, or if we choose to pretend to be sick, and the last one is to pretend not to receive the assignments. I might choose this one actually if I were a student. Okay. What does this say? If a person choose each of this option, what does it describe about the person?
Well, actually, interestingly enough, so option number 2, 3, and 4, so pretending that Wi-Fi is dead. Why is it? Oh, sorry, I got my concentration a bit because it's changing. And there's absent, pretending to be sick, and also pretending to not have received assignment and accept notification can be an indicator that you might be experiencing anxiety. Tiur.
Okay, anxiety. What does it mean, Miss, to have anxiety?
Anxiety. Oh, this is such a big word, and I think it's commonly used, yeah, by a lot of students and even a lot of us here as well. So, what I would like to say at first is that I would like everyone to differentiate what is the difference between fear and anxiety, because these two are often used together. Yeah, even maybe people think that fear and anxiety is the same thing. The truth is, it's not. Yeah, so fear is a feeling of worry, a feeling of being under threat because of an actual threat. So it's something that is real. It's not imagined. It's actually happening to you as we speak. Yeah, whereas anxiety, the big it is an imagined threat, so it hasn't happened yet, but you already feel like it is going on. Maybe if I can give a little example, I guess, yeah, to make it easier for people to see the difference. So let's say that I am currently here in this room, yeah, and there is a snake coming upon me, so the snake is right there, yeah, and would we call that fear or like anxiety? In a sense.
Probably that will be fear because the snake is really in front of me, right?
That's right, Ms. Tiur. As you imagine, we call that fear because it is actually something that we can see, something that is going on right now, yeah? And if we don't do anything about it, or if we make the wrong move, our life can be in danger. Whereas an anxiety, if I can give an example, is that there is not an actual snake in front of me or underneath me here, but I imagine that there is somewhere lurking, behind my podium right there, ready to strike me at times, right? It hasn't happened yet, though. But I keep on thinking that this is going to happen, right? If I make the wrong move, if I try to move my leg a little bit like that, then the snake would attack me. So that's what anxiety is about. It is often some sort of like an imagined threat or something that we fear. We are afraid of going on. It hasn't happened yet, but it already makes us feel worry.
Okay, so on daily basis, as in the life of students, Miss, ever since this pandemic started, there's a huge emphasis on physical health, yeah, and people are very aware of how to wash their hands. Probably they wash their hands with the way a nurse will do, a doctor, a surgeon. A surgeon will do it before going into an operation room. We know exactly how to wash our hands. We know exactly how to monitor our physical health. If we have a slight cough or even the slightest of headache, we will start to be alert. In terms of mental health, I think that puts a huge gap between physical and mental health, Miss. In the life of students, they're staying at home and all that. How can they relate with anxiety? How can how do they know when to be alert when they have anxiety?
When I have anxiety, okay. So I think first and foremost, I'd like to actually show you guys a little picture here as well, because this gives an illustration, yeah? So let me just press this. Okay. Okay, so here we are, right? So first of all, before we talk about anxiety as well, I want to say about the theme of today is well-being. Yeah, it's the overarching theme. But basically what well-being is, it is the overall health that we have. And it can be impacted by a lot of things, Ms. Tiur and friends as well. There's social relationship, there's your behavior, other people's behavior, your emotion, your learning, and your thoughts, yeah. But what I'd like to say as well is that anxiety is one of the things that can definitely impact our well-being. Yeah, and I'll show you a little bit here. Seems to be a bit difficult. Okay. Right. Okay, so I would like to also say that in terms of mental health, and even in terms of anxiety, we talk about mental illness, is that we often think it either that I have it or I don't. But the truth is everyone have it. Everyone have anxiety, right? But it's just on a different level depending on the situation that you are experiencing. So for some people, they might often be on a situation where if we can actually see that it might be something that's severely impacting their everyday activities. Or it can be a situation when they feel that they're struggling, but they can still deal with that situation, or when they're actually doing okay, or when they're flourishing. So flourishing means that you're basically able to deal with the challenges head on and you have resources to fight it, yeah? With students, in regards with anxiety, of course, I think that a lot of the problems that I've heard from students have interact with teachers through Google Classroom more and more often using Google Meet, so they need to conduct that learning online. And not everyone, yeah, I think we need to also mention individual differences. Not everyone may be able to adapt or cope with it. Yeah, Miss. Yeah, maybe those who have already feel anxious before at school, now when they went at home, they can feel more and more anxious, maybe because they don't have teachers that can help them straight away or directly. Or for some people who actually might feel more comfortable at home, because I've heard some students say that they actually wish they can do online learning, like until they graduated from school, because they have more freedom to do other things at home. They feel more relaxed with the people there. So in answer to your question, I think the thing with anxiety is when students actually feel, when it's something that you need to take note, is when it's impacting your life. Yeah, when it happens a lot of times, it happens in a high intensity situation. For example, if I can give an example, you might have negative thoughts daily. Yeah, so every time when you're going to enter school, you have this thought, you know what, I'm just gonna fail, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, something like that. And this doesn't just feel like like sometimes we have anxiety in terms of, you know what, I feel anxious to enter this class, but then when you enter the class, you feel okay. But in this case, it impacts you that you cannot focus in class. Yeah, when teachers say something, you're like, huh? What is she saying? What are they talking about? You cannot follow through with your homework, with your assignments. And this doesn't just happen once. This happens a lot of time. And the result is that it's hard for you to keep up with school. It's hard for you to have good relationship with your friends as well, right? And even focusing for the future, something like that, Ms. Tiur.
Okay, so a lot of this is also putting an emphasis on our ability to recognize our mental health, recognize our own emotional state, yeah? So, Miss, because emotional health is important in day-to-day well-being maintenance, and there's this mental health continuum as well, flourishing, going okay, struggling, severely impacting everyday activities. How do we know in which part of this continuum are we in? How do we sort of do we have an indicators for each?
Indicators of each, yeah? Okay, that's a very good question, Ms. Tiur. I think this can look different for a lot of people, but I think there are some general markers here or some general signs. If you're flourishing, one of the signs that I would see is that you're doing well at school. You can have good grades, or even if you have experienced some troubles in your past, you are able to deal with them now as well. You are open about your problems. You are aware of your own resource, of your own strength. Yeah, what can I do in this situation? In that sense, it doesn't mean that you don't experience any problem, but you know how to deal with it head on. And this is something that you can see going on day-to-day basis. So it's not just one day that you're feeling good, but this is something that can manifest in months, even years. Yeah. If you're going okay, I would say that you've been feeling quite good. You are able to participate in class, you're able to make friends and have good relationship with the people around you. There can be some days when you feel like, I've been having a bad day, I feel anxious and stuff like that. But most of the time it is manageable, say. For struggling, so I'm going to reverse it back with the signs of going okay, yeah. Kalau struggling here, it means that you often would feel that it's hard for you to keep up with your daily activities. Yeah, but you are still able to have some good days where you can participate in activities. When it's something that's severely impacting, I think you guys might be aware when this happened in times of months. This happened for quite a long time as well, right? And this, you can feel like when you cannot even keep up with school, you cannot even have good relationship with your family on a basic level. In that sense.
Okay, so we don't just arrive on the right-hand side of the continuum, which is severely impacting everyday activities, ya. It can be the result of months and months of stress or anxiety.
Yes.
So it piles up and it bursts into that reaction where someone will not be able to function well in daily activities.
Yes.
But how do we stop ourselves from getting there? Because sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we don't know whether this is the in terms of fever, for example. Fever, if you use a thermometer and it's this degree, it's okay, you monitor until 3 days. If 3 days it doesn't get better, then you go seek medical help.
Yes.
But in terms of emotional and well-being, how do we know?
Yeah, I think in this part, because it can be a bit tricky, because as you mentioned, if it's something that's physical or like a medical condition, you can immediately see, like maybe if I have a wound on my hand right now, then I can just apply it. Okay, but when it's emotional, I think the first step would be about self-awareness, I think, Miss, because like I said, that there is individual differences. Some people can determine it head-on, or some people might not be able to determine it head-on. But what you need to notice is that do you feel more anxious than usual? Yeah. What is your basic or what is your usual rate of anxiety? I would say. Sense.
Again, we need to train ourselves on recognizing the kind of emotion and feeling that we are experiencing. Okay, this has been a very interesting discussion, Ms. Keke. It's time for trivia, everyone. So on the screen, you will see a question. What will the question be? And there it is. Tricky question. Who is the author of? Who is one of Ms. Keke's favorite psychology author? That will be, sorry, I'm an English teacher. Sorry. Okay, so, and there's a hint over there. Maybe I need to, the answer is already written in one of the school's Instagram posts. So while listening to this webinar, it's probably a good time for you guys to scroll our school's Instagram post and look for the answer. Because remember, there's a 100,000 rupiah voucher, OVO voucher, waiting for one lucky winner, and you don't want to miss that. So be sure to go ahead and scroll your Instagram post, our school's Instagram post, and look for the answer. Okay, and returning to Ms. Keke. So, Ms. Keke, how would you say, in terms of well-being, can you share with us in very simple terms, what is exactly well-being, Miss?
Well-being, okay, so, well, the definition itself is the overall functioning of someone, so your general health. But if I can use an analogy, I'll use a simpler one of a car, Yeah, I think we all here have a car. Yeah, we are aware of the parts of the car, so we can put ourselves as in a position of like a car, where a car, well, the parts that made up the car, like we have gasoline, we have wiper, we have oil and tires. Yeah, in order for that car to function well, of course, all of these parts need to work really well. Yeah, but sometimes, and I say sometimes, I hope that it doesn't happen to you often, that some of the parts may not be working so well. Yeah, let's say that your tire gets flat. Yeah, you forgot to have an oil change, so it creates a problem in your car, or your wiper isn't really working well, especially in rainy season, and that can be dangerous as well. What else did I mention? And there's also a threat from from outside of your own machine. Yeah. Let's say that as you are driving, there's another car that can hit you, right? Without any, what do you say? I guess without you being aware of it, suddenly it just hits you out of nowhere like that. And even a car that is fully functioning or fully well cannot really escape the threat or the possibility of getting an accident, Ms. Tiur. And I think we can also put this in our own example in our daily life, where if we are a car, yeah, and the parts of them made our well-being. So I'm going to show you about what are our parts, yeah, what are the things that actually composed of our well-being here. Okay. So yeah, this is one of the parts. There's behavior, social relationship, emotions, learning, and thoughts. And I'm going to add more. Here you go. So this is actually one of the dimensions of wellness that we can also use. But I'm going to give it a little bit to here. So we have something that is known as risk and protective factors. So as mentioned, protective factors is the parts of the car itself. So what is our protective factor? First of all, one is ourself, so it's our own attitude, our temperament, personality. Second is our family member, yeah, the social relationship among us. The third is our school, our community that we have, yeah. And there's also life events, yeah. Do we experience a lot of more positive life events or more negative or traumatizing one? And the last one, as I mentioned, there is social. So this comes more of the society that we live in that sense, Ms. Tiur.
Okay, Miss, so on day-to-day basis as a student, probably they will experience failure, they will experience loneliness now more than ever because of the pandemic, and the government has decided to close schools, so students are learning from home. That means they will be being away from friends, from the environment that supports them to cheer them up when they're down, because in adolescence years, it's probably not the best. It's not probably not the easiest way to talk to your parents. Sometimes you prefer to talk to your friends. So loneliness and failure, sometimes tests, exams, quizzes, difficult subjects that they may consider difficult.
Absolutely, yeah.
These are factors that also affect a student's well-being, right? So how, when a student, say, experience one of this, they started the day good, it's a good day, log into the Google Meet, they did their homeworks, but they did their quizzes, follow instructions. However, when the teacher announces the result of the last quiz, it was not really good, and so
bad, yeah.
and one may feel sad, one may feel disappointed because they have studied hard. So how to overcome this? Maybe because this will be something that on day-to-day basis students will encounter.
To overcome feelings of disappointment, yeah, miss, in this question.
Disappointment, failure, loneliness, because more than ever now we are living we live more in a virtual world, right?
Yes.
And our interaction is really different now, and that also contributes to how a person might overcome negative feelings. So
Negative feelings, yeah.
How would you say when a student encounter these problems?
I think the first step is to be able to, well, this is the first and the step that is very much targeted is to accept the feelings, I would say, as they are. Because oftentimes I think we have been told, I don't know if your experience, but in my experience when I was growing up, talking about emotion isn't something that is exactly openly discussed in our family. We often feel like, emotion is a bad thing. So if you feel angry, you feel, sad, you feel ashamed. So that's something that you just need to put away, and you shouldn't really feel that way because maybe you've been given like a good life by your parents, or they might just tell you, just go study again, or just pray, or something like that. But that's actually not going to be helpful. So one of the key that I find in my own life experience have been helpful is to accept the emotion as it is. So being aware, like how it is, like for example, maybe if I were a student in that case, I would be very sad, Miss Tiur, and be disappointed. So what I would say to myself is that, man, I've really tried, I've really done everything right, but I didn't really get the result I want. And you know what? That makes me feel angry, that makes me feel sad. It feels like whatever that I'm doing, it doesn't exactly amount to anything. And I guess to also sit with that emotion, so you don't have to do anything. You don't have to either let it rule your head or make you angry, drive you to do anything. But I would say to imagine this emotion as if it's just a cloud passing by, it's just a cloud passing by the sky. So you don't exactly have to deal with it. You don't have to encounter it, but you just let it be first. So cool yourself down, calm yourself down, talk to yourself, that situation. If you feel like it's more helpful for you, find someone you can talk to, I would say. Maybe it's a friend, a family member, a sibling maybe, or a boyfriend or a girlfriend if you already have one. But if you're not the type that likes to talk, maybe you can find something else to soothe you. Maybe listening to music, writing down your journal. But whatever it is that you do, don't deny that emotion. It's not neither good or bad emotion in this case. There just is. It's just what you feel because of a situation, right? And it is normal to feel sad. It's normal to feel angry. It's normal to feel happy. So just validate it. Just accept that it's happening to you. And after some time, if you're already calm, then maybe you can start to maybe create a new plan for studying, or something like that.
Okay, so acceptance includes conversation with oneself, talking to yourself, but sometimes I think, Miss, from personal experience, I don't know whether anyone else is also experiencing the same thing. Ourself is not our best friend. We condemn ourselves more. We would say bad things to ourselves. Oh, this is because you're not good enough. Look at your score. So it's the validation that we receive from talking to ourselves is a negative one, and then it circulates.
I see.
Circulates in our mind, and it becomes a belief. When we believe in something, it's difficult to change it already. So before it becomes a belief, how can we become a good friend for ourselves, Miss? When we have that small conversation in our head, is there any way we can be a good friend for ourselves?
Oh, there's definitely a way, and I would say, but this does take time and process, guys. Just so that unfortunately, that there's no exact quick fix. Unfortunately, if I could create a pill to take away anxiety, I would. But what I can say is, first of all, is to be aware. Like when you're talking like that, remember that when you're talking like that, always ask yourself the question: is what I'm saying true? Am I really not worth it? If I make this one mistake, does this make me feel unlovable in that case? And I would recommend to do something that we know as self-affirmation. So talk to yourself positively. So try to reframe that conversation into saying, oh man, I didn't really do well in this case. I mean, it's kind of my fault, I guess. Maybe I haven't studied well. But you know what? I think that I can still try to do something else next time, So try to reframe it in a more positive manner. And you need to do it over and over again. So it's not just one try, but over and over again. You might fail, though, but keep on doing it, I would say.
So to train yourself to talk nicely, to be a good friend for yourself, I think. All right, is it time for Q&A? Is there any questions already? Okay, right. So training ourselves to be a good friend for our mind, so that we will develop positive mindset, is also one of the way to manage well-being. Yes, Miss?
Yes, very
So,
true.
is there any other way? Is there any other way, any practical way that we can do on daily basis to help us?
Managing well-being. I think we can try by doing some simple steps, I guess. Yeah, what can be something that you do? I would really recommend exercise, especially during this time. Yeah, maybe I know that we cannot really go outside, yeah, because of the risk. So, and what we can do is we can do more of a high intensity exercise. So we do it more in a lot more. What do you call it? Not exactly duration. So we do it in a shorter duration, but in a much more high intensity. Maybe something like cardio training, something like that can be useful. Maybe doing some jump rope, yeah. Or if you have a gym machine at home, then you can try a cross trainer, something like that. Pay attention to what you're eating, because from my own personal experience, actually, sad way to say this, but when I eat something that contains a lot of high salt and sugar, that actually help me to be more prone to anxiety. Yeah, so eat something healthy. I know that it's not delicious, but it's still healthy nevertheless. With rich fibers, yeah, like nuts, like what do you call it, chia, kale, avocado, something like that. And also, don't forget that well-being is not a one-person job. It's everyone's job as well. It's your community around you, yeah? So make sure that it's not just us expecting, hey, you have to be a good friend to me, yeah? Or just expecting that our parents understand us. It goes both ways. Yeah? And of course, this takes a long time, yeah, to hone good social relationship, but it's definitely worth it to be more caring towards your family, maybe helping your mom or dad around, yeah. If possible, talk with them about what you've been feeling, because your mom and dad, obviously that they love you and they want to care for you, and they can give you some good advice as well. And also don't forget that you can also contact me, in this case, yeah, to talk about anything that you're experiencing as well.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Dutta. So, to quickly
Yes.
sum up, we need to care for our well-being. We need to take care of ourselves, be good friends to ourselves, because more than ever, people are forced to live in a different ways, and changes so hard in so many different factors, will in so many different areas,
Yes.
will contribute to someone experiencing emotional turbulence.
Yes.
And it's okay to not feel okay. And at school, as much as possible, we always try to provide a safe environment for members of school, so that they can contribute equally in school environment, whether in daily life,
Very true, yeah.
face-to-face or virtually. So always reach out whenever you feel that you cannot do it anymore. Ms. Keke, our school counselor, is always here to help you, as well as your form teachers and all your teachers here. Okay. Ms. Keke, is there anything else that you would like to add?
I think also, so I just want to summarize about what we've also talked. I think from my point of view that it's really important to be aware of yourself, and this is not something that other people can do. This is something that you do. So I would recommend to observe your own behavior, yeah, daily, about in what situation do you may feel anxious, you might feel depressed, you might feel really, really sad or angry and stuff like that. But also, and don't forget that you are that you are not alone, that you are not in this situation alone, that you have us as well who can care for you. But I would also recommend to please be kind towards yourself. Yeah, if you experience something like this, always know that you can try to seek help. You can try to talk to people around you as well. Okay, and remember your own personal strengths, like your patience, your dedication. Utilize that resource more and more, instead of just looking into something that you're not good at, I would say.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Keke. And it's time now to announce the lucky winner of 100,000 OVO voucher. Do we have the winner already? Oh, okay. And the lucky winner is from JC2 And that person is, drum roll, Laticia Jessie Laksana. You are the lucky winner of 100,000 OVO voucher. Yay!
Very good.
So enjoy the voucher and don't forget to treat us, Jessie. Right.
Yes, it's a must.
Thank
see
you.
ya?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for attending the webinar. Thank you, Ms. Kuku, for sharing with us this morning. And don't forget, everyone, that we have one more webinar on our agenda this morning. Ibu Novi is the moderator, and we have 5 special speakers who are going to share with you this morning. So stay tuned. See you a bit later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.